Hello and welcome to this channel and welcome to this video. Today I'm going to be talking about something that's rather exciting really, probably one of the most exciting things I've seen in the paranormal realm or world, if you like, for quite a little while. And there is a reason why I've actually gone for this, and I'm going to explain all this. If anyone doesn't really know of Steve Huff of Huff Paranormal, he has spent a lot of money and a lot of time on researching getting the absolute best communication tool for the paranormal, for his particular work. And he's come up with this configuration here, all of this equipment. And so I'm not taking any recognition at all for any of this. This has all been researched and produced, etc., by Steve Huff. Now he's not selling these boxes, so he's very honestly and open about what he's actually done, what he's accomplished, but he's shared the configuration and the equipment that he's actually researched to try and get this communication tool, which he's calling a portal. And I quite like that term myself, so I'm going to continue to call it a portal. It's not a Steve Huff portal, it's going to be my portal, and I'm going to be sort of, doing it the way I like doing it. But the beauty is, of course, that the research has all been done, and all credit to Steve Huff for exactly what he's done for the paranormal world. I mean, it's just, brilliant that there are people like him, in the paranormal world that are giving this information freely. So I would highly recommend, and I will put a link to the page on his website where he explains all of this equipment, more than I am going to, but I just wanted to do a video because this is very relevant to what the research that I do and Oxford Paranormal do. Anyone that has used a ghost box of any sort, and this is my PSB7 in here, anyone that's used a ghost box or a device that scans radio channels will know that the most irritating thing, it is for me anyway, the most irritating thing is the constant hissing, the white noise, the scanning, the clicks, the kind of noises that go along. I mean, let me just power this up, and you'll understand, what I mean. I mean, anyone who's seen any of these things. I mean, this is a PSB7. Let me turn the volume up so that people can actually sort of see. Now, obviously, I normally use this with a Lansing speaker, and straight away, even without the scanning, you can hear the kind of white noise. And then of course once you start to scan, now I always scan at 250 milliseconds, and when you start scanning, you're getting this kind of noise, which is kind of not ideal. So this has always been one of my bugbears, that the editing afterwards for this particular device, when you do a recording, I find it irritating. It's fascinating stuff. It's absolutely, don't get me wrong, I love doing all of this, but one of my bugbears has always been this click noise that goes along. And I've seen various different ghost boxes and radio sweep technology and stuff that people have done, and they all still produce this really loud kind of white noise, hissing, station scanning things. So what fascinated me about this was the fact that Steve Huff, I didn't know that he was a bit of a musician, but he got together equipment that you can buy pretty much off the shelf. Certainly most of the components, are very easy to get hold of. They are in Europe anyway, and in America, and I dare say probably places like Australia and such like. But the beauty with this is that all of that hissing noise and that horrible clicking sound is all but disappeared. And now I'm talking about the PSB7. I have got apps that I use on tablets. One of them I choose not to actually use anymore because of a situation that seems to have happened recently. But I'm actually waiting for the SED1, which is hopefully coming out on Android soon, and I think I'll be first in line to actually get that app, which is just an amazing app again, and that's what Steve Huff uses with this equipment. Anyway, I'm going to stop blabbering. What I wanted to do was basically go through this equipment very, very quickly. I mean, if you're going to go to Steve Huff's website, then fine. I will actually say right up the front, and he does say it in one of his videos and on his website, this stuff is not cheap. You know, I absolutely agree with spending money where money is going to be well spent on equipment that is going to work. And I've seen this working already, and I must admit, I mean, I have actually opened this up and tested this all out, obviously, because, you know, I needed some, and the initial results I've had already are just mind-blowing. Seriously mind-blowing. That's all I can say, really. So we start off with the main amplifier unit here, which is the ZT Lunchbox Junior. It has to be the Lunchbox Junior, and we'll go through that in a little bit. The other piece of equipment that he recommends is the TC Electronic T2 Reverb pedal. Okay, and the other piece, which is again on its own a mind-blowing piece of equipment, because this was the first piece that I actually got. I tested this out with my PSB7 and a very small speaker on, you know, coming out, and that alone really was just mind-blowing. What this piece of equipment does is just unbelievable. This is the ISP Technologies Decimator 2, which Steve Huff highly recommends. There is another one that he recommends, but apparently it's discontinued and very difficult to get hold of. But this, highly recommend. Really, really mind-blowing. The other bits and pieces that I've got are the power leads for the pedals. Now, if you get ZT's power leads, I don't know quite why they're so expensive. I mean, in English money, it's £25. I got these from our local hardware musical store, you know, instrument store, £5. They're exactly the same thing. And, you know, I've checked them out. The polarity is around the right way and all of that kind of thing. We've got a couple of audio cables. We have the input cable, if you like, that comes from your device and goes into the input on the Decimator 2. So I spent a little bit of money getting the highest quality gold contact cable that I could find. I've got the copper wire. I went for a heavier gauge copper wire, much heavier gauge. Mine's 40 SWG. I managed to get this actually at the same price as the other one because somebody had actually cut some of the wire off the reel. So I got a really good deal on that, and I like copper is one of my metals anyway. I'm going to make things slightly different on mine, as I use a lot of crystals, and I've got a rather nice quartz crystal here that I use for all sorts of things, and I'm going to combine the two together, you know, on my actual portal. I did. One of the other things that you can get is battery power packs, so that this can be completely portable. I already had one of these 8-cell AA battery packs here, you know, with these things here, and I may or may not actually put a connector on there. I didn't really want to spend such an awful lot of money on getting what is effectively this inside a little plastic box, and again paying rather a lot of money. It was nearly £30 for that, and it's just a plastic box with a couple of wires and a connector on it. You know, I got these things from Maplin for sort of £3–4. So, you know, I choose not to go down that route. What I am going to do though is I've made my own custom portable battery. Now obviously this is quite heavy. This is actually a 12 volt 4.5 amp per hour motorcycle battery. And I've made up a special cable which I've already tested and made sure that it does actually work with this particular box. So this is supplying a rather heavy duty power to the ZT. And then we've got the, sorry, I think I've already mentioned this, the TC Electronic T2 reverb unit. I've got some Velcro, and I designed up some little logos to stick on the top. So yeah, what I was going to do, if you don't mind watching this length of video, is I'm going to open up all of this and I'm going to assemble and test our Oxford Paranormal UK portal, as it were, and give you a flavour of actually how it works. So hope you find this interesting. Okay, let's get on with the build. Okay, so let's build this portal. I'm going to put a few things aside here because I'm going to be doing those later on. I'm not going to worry about that for now. And the backup battery, the backup power. Right, okay, so let's start with this. We have our cables, and we have our units. So let's get the main bit of equipment out, the amplifier. Okay, bear with me. So this is the ZT Lunchbox Junior. Okay, now my first initial impressions of this are absolutely wow. I mean, this is an amazing piece of kit. I can now understand. I mean, if you really like spending money on quality, then you know this is definitely the best mini speaker, and I've actually been through quite a few of these before. So let's get the ISP decimator out. Decimator 2. I love that name. Okay. And the TC Electronic T2, which is the reverb, decay, tone. It's got various different things on there. And okay, so we shall plug this in for now. Okay, so I'm going to do this as just a you know, sort of just a connection project at the moment. So I believe he has them velcroed, which I will do. And I will do that in the last bit, so they will be velcroed on the side here. So cables, right, so first off what we need is an input cable from whichever device you're using, whether it's a tablet, a PC, radio sweep, a ghost box, whatever it's going to be. Okay, this goes into the input. If I can get this right, so this is the input of the decimator. Okay, you have the output of this going to the input of this, which if I remember rightly, I can't remember now what's the input. Yeah, okay, I believe that to be the input. Okay, if it isn't, we can move it around. I'm actually connecting it to the M ports on here, because there seems to be 4 ports, one labelled S and one labelled M. And this then, the output from the T2 goes to the input of the I'll get it right in a minute. The ZT Lunchbox Junior. Okay, it's all rather new. In effect, that is pretty much it. The only additional thing which I'm going to add later on is I'm going to do make up the coil that goes from the output of the decimator to the input of the T2. And I'm going to have it over the top here, and in there I'm going to actually wind copper around this crystal. That's really just my take on this portal, because I know that will work for me. So we can plug power in, and for now I'm just going to use power. We have power down here. Okay, so and now I'm going to put my ghost box, which is my PSB7, and that's going to go in there. So in effect, this is now, or this has now become the portal. Now at the moment I have got 9-volt batteries inside these. Now I don't expect the 9-volt batteries to last particularly long in these pedals. I don't know how long they're going to last, but I will be using, in my final build, I will be using this daisy chain power, because this supplies power, 9-volt power to pedals specifically. So you know, which is all rather good. So let's power these up. So that's going to go on. Let's power this on. Okay, so this gets powered on. Let's switch the decimator 2 on, and let's switch the T2 on. And it's at this point that I turn the volume right down, because while this is sort of getting, you know, ready to be used, it can produce, this is a very powerful amplifier. So on goes the TZ Junior, and I'm going to up the volume. Now I don't know, I'm hoping that you can hear this. Okay, so you can hear the reverb going through there. I'm now going to run this as I would normally run it, just as a very quick test to make sure that it works. So I'm now scanning. Now straight off you can probably hear a little bit of the noise from the scanning of the radio, and this is where you tweak the decimator until you get rid of the white sort of static noise, and you keep turning it very gently until it's pretty much gone. Hello, I come in peace, and I would like to speak to any spirits or entities that are here right now with me that can test out this portal. I wonder if you can come through for me now and speak through this device. Now, compared to how the PSB7 was making quite a large amount of noise on scanning stations, and this is now going through this portal, I am very, very impressed with how this decimator cuts out all of that static noise. And all I can hear is a very faint click, 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 you know. Hello, is there anyone here right now? Can say something through this device for me? What's your name? Can you tell me your name? Hello, how are you? Do you like using this device? You know that I can hear you quite clearly. I can hear you very clearly through this device. Do you have a message for me? Is there anything you want to tell me? I mean, just off the bat, this is just so much quieter than using the PSB7 with a Lansing speaker. You know, this is not going to give you headaches. Can anyone else give me a message? Can you say your name? Okay, thank you. I did hear something there, but I couldn't understand it. Okay. Hello. Okay, thank you for coming, and I bid you farewell, and you may return back from where you came. Blessings. Okay, and at that point I'm going to get into a habit of turning the volume down, because once you start switching any of this equipment off, it does actually make a lot of noise. So, we shall continue. Okay, if you want to watch this part, then by all means do. I'm literally just going to build my portal, and I'm going to, you know, I've got all the various different tools. I've got a pair of scissors that I need to cut Velcro. I've got a pair of cutters and a pair of pliers that I need to make my copper windings to go around here. So I've obviously disassembled everything. I'm going to lay it out, and if you're quite welcome to watch this part or skip you know, forward until I get to the final bit. So this could be a little bit long. I'm really impressed with this. This is an amazing amplifier. I might even get another one if they're still available, because I know the company that I got these from were running out pretty fast, and I'm kind of guessing that people are watching Steve Huff's videos and his website, and they are just mad crazy going out and buying these. I know that the UK supplier and authorized dealer for the Decimator 2 has pretty much, I think he only had one left. When he started off, he had, I think I bought this when he had something like 30% stock, and then on eBay, one left, and that was in about 1 week. So I think people are going crazy. Now, obviously not everybody's just buying these pedals and this equipment just for making this portal, but my guess is that they probably are. This, I can see this actually being used by musicians anyway, this piece of kit here. I'm actually absolutely amazed by this piece of kit. Anyway, I'm going to stop waffling, and I'm going to build my portal. Now I'm going to make it the same way that Steve Huff does here. So he had the Decimator here on the left. Obviously I've turned this round, and he had the T2 on the right. Now I think the first thing that I will do is apply Velcro to each of these. And so this is kind of self-adhesive Velcro, you know, so I'm just going to cut a piece of Velcro there. And a piece of Velcro there. Might do exactly the same again. Right, now the T2, so the T2, bit of Velcro there. This is the hooks. Of course, you know, all I'm really doing is by velcroing this onto the actual side of the box, it just makes the whole thing very portable. Once you've got your, you know, external power, your battery power, you know, this is basically, you know, you carry it around wherever you want to go. I mean, it's certainly not light, and once I put these pedals on, it's certainly not going to be light at all. So I'm going to stick that on there. This is very strong Velcro. So Okay. Right, so that's the decimator, and this is for the T2. The only other piece of equipment, well, I shall talk while I'm doing this, the only other piece of equipment that I have seen which has looked interesting, and do leave comments below if anyone else has seen it, is the Ghost Arc box. Now, like in a little kind of thing in the back of my head is saying that it's basically, it's like a multi-purpose, you know, 5-in-1 unit that you can carry around in your hand. It's a radio sweep, it's a recorder, it's an EMF detector, it's a temperature thingy, and it's probably something else. You know, there's quite a lot all in one. Something in the back of my head says that, you know, I really hope it does work. I haven't seen it actually anybody using it yet, because as far as I'm aware, it's still either in production or they're still, you know, beta testing it or whatever. So I don't really know. Now, I never know whether you're supposed to put the hooks. I guess the hooks go on the box and then the Velcro goes onto the actual unit. So here we go. This is going to go onto the unit. So the hooks part of this is going to go. Okay, so now we glue this, or stick this onto the side of here. Now I want to try and get this as central as possible in the middle, and bam, I'm happy with that. So that's on the decimator. The decimator. Okay, Velcro stuck. So yeah, I'm actually really excited about you know, using this. I've got lots of places that I would like to go. One specific place that I would like to do, that I've been talking about on our Facebook page for a little while, is out in Blenheim Palace. So, line this up squarely and attach onto, make sure it's clearing the bottom ground. Okay, so now that's both of those pushed on and assembled. Lovely. Okay, that looks very secure, and this is getting heavier and heavier. Wow. Okay, my next bit is the copper coil. Now I'm going to go from this side to the input of this side. The output to the input, and then the output from the T2 goes to the input. I can tidy up these cables on there. Okay, and I've got my input cable, goes into the decimator. And I just want to make sure that I've now got all this round the right way. So let's power this up. No longer need that. Okay, so PSP7 is on. Okay, so we switch on the T2 and we switch on the decimator. Okay, that's switched on, that's switched on, and now we switch the ZT box on. Have I adjusted? Yes, I have. I wondered why there was so much noise. I'd adjusted the decimator too. So this is obviously without, you know, this is not adjusted. You adjust the decimator until you cut out the noise from the radio sweet box, until you're happy with that, and then you can turn the volume. And just tweak very slightly. Hello, is anyone there now? Richard? Sounded like Richard. Are you here with me right now? Would you like to come through and communicate with me on this new portal? Are you there, Richard? Now I know that Steve Huff was saying that this is best with the SCD1, which unfortunately I don't have because I use Android tablets and I'm just waiting for it to come out. But he said that he did use it with, you know, some hacked radios, ghost boxes, and he got it to work fine. To be honest with you, I am really happy about the PSB7. Mind-blowing, absolutely mind-blowing. Once you tweaked the noise of the radio and all you get through is just hello, it's just the voices, you know, amazing, absolutely amazing. Okay, I'm now going to make my, let's turn this off now. Thank you very much for coming. Okay, so I'm very happy with this. It all works. It's in. It's velcroed. I'm happy that that is all there and working. So, okay, this is heavy. I'm not going to lie. This is seriously heavy. I don't know how heavy the Junior is, but I know this is several kilos on its own, and now it's got these rather very well built, very high quality pedals on the side, and obviously that's adding more weight. So apart from the coil, I can't see that that's actually going to I think this is about maxed out on its weight. So but I'm now going to make my coil. So, how I'm going to do this is, quite simply, bear with me. Okay, this is where I need my pair of cutters and my pliers. Okay, I've got I'm going to make my coil the same size as this tube here. So, I'm going to move this out of the way for now. Now I've got this coil of wire. I have got elbowed connectors on mine, so that's going to be relatively easy for me to, let me just put the portal there. Okay, so I'm going to go from the output of the decimator to the input. I believe that that's what it is. Bear with me while I go and check. I'm pretty certain that that's what it is. Or is it the output from the decimator to the output of the T2? Okay, I'm back. As I suspected, the output from the decimator 2 goes to the output of the T2. Okay, because I vaguely remember seeing the coil go sort of diagonal from the back of the decimator to the front of the T2. So, okay, now I've got my cable, I've got my crystal here. So, you know, you're quite welcome to watch me make this. I'm just going to go through. It's going to take me a little while to actually make. So this is a rather large double-ended crystal, which I've had for a number of years actually, and I've used this for all sorts of things, and I have used this for healing and various other things and communicating, and it feels beautiful in my hand. It really does. So I just think, you know, that this is going to work really quite well. So let's just say this is probably a good 3 inches, and I would say that I need to make the coil possibly 10 inches long to go from there to there. So yeah, that's possibly 10-11 inches long. So okay, and I'm going to have it up so high so that at least I can touch the handle. So hey, let's go with this. And this is very strong copper wire. It's 40 gauge, so it's fairly heavy duty stuff. And I'm going to put, I can always cut this down to size, of course. So I'm going to have that wrapped around the cable on there, and have it wrapped around the cable on that side, and I shall attach it you know, pretty permanently onto that. So I'm going to go up. I'm going to make sure that I go up quite a distance, and we shall start wrapping this round. Wrapping this round clockwise. Let's go around clockwise. So okay, I'm going to start this now. So I'm going to go round, just unwind as I go. Now I don't think there's any specific amount of turns that you need on this. I think it's just a matter of, you know, I'm also a very firm believer that the spirits like to use things like copper. Copper is obviously a very well-known conductor of electricity. So, you know, electricity is energy I understand it. So, you know, why not use copper? Anything that helps to act either as an aerial or as a conductor, or something that the spirits can actually use. All I'm doing here now is I'm just winding this round and round. So I'm trying to keep this at a... This is actually really quite heavy gauge, so it's quite tough to try and get this to go round and round. So obviously, as I am winding it round here, I'm winding the cable, it's unwinding the copper from the reel. Wow, that's tough. Okay. Now I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18 turns on there. That's quite a nice number. Those that know numerology will know what that means. So yeah, I'm quite happy with that actually. Obviously it can be expanded or compressed. So that's rather nice. Rather nice coil of pure copper. This is 100% pure copper, apparently. Okay, now trying to wrap my crystal in this is going to be interesting. I'm going to do some detailed photographs of this afterwards, so fear not about not being able to see. Now actually the crystal, wow, now the crystal actually goes really well inside there anyway, and it's actually gripped really nicely. So I might actually continue to just wind this. Wow, that's a really nice coincidence. So let me just continue to wind this round the pipe. Okay, I'm pulling it quite tight because I want to get a really neat coil. You know, that's what I'm aiming for anyway. I'm a bit of a stickler for how things look, really, and I'm a little bit of a perfectionist about things. So let's get this wrapped around. Wow, this is getting tougher the more I'm going. Okay, putting that quite tightly. Now I want to keep an eye on my coil count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, and the last one, 36. Significant number for me. And okay, allowing for that to spring out. And let me check again. Yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36. Perfect. Okay, I'm very happy with that. Now, my coil is going to go... Oh, I don't need this anymore, do I? There we go. So that's kind of uncoiled itself 1 or half a turn. Okay, let me sort that out. I've got to go around 1/2 turn. Obviously some residual spring in there. Okay, now we have it. Now we have it. Okay, very happy with that. I like the coil. Very, very nice, very neat, nice and tight. And I'm now going to cut that off at the same length so that I've got that exactly right. Okay, and I have a huge amount of copper wire left over. Now, there's my copper wire. I'm very happy with how this has turned out. This has actually turned out better than I was rather hoping, and especially as my crystal fits very, very well right in the middle. Wow, I am so pleased with this. I can shuffle this along until I get my crystal right in the middle. That is a very nice snug fit. I had kind of planned to actually wind a smaller windings round the crystal in the middle to try and keep it fixed, but that's not actually required at all, because the crystal fits into the coil really, really well. Now that, you know, fate, luck, whatever you want to call it, I think this crystal was destined for this project and for this use. Okay, now that's made the coil quite heavy, but then the equipment itself is actually very heavy, very sturdy. So I'm just going to expand the coils very slightly so that it fits across from one cable to the other. So let's just expand that very slightly. Okay, very happy with that. Let's put some tension back in there so that it's gripping the crystal. There we go. Very, very happy with the way that that's worked out. Okay, I've now got my coil. As I say, I'm just customizing this to how I would like this to work and how I feel that it's going to work for me. So I need to wind the cable, the coil around this. So I need to, I'm going to wrap this around. I'm going to just use my pliers to wrap this around the cable. Perfect. So I'm going to do some close-up photographs of this, don't worry. I shall do some more detailed photographs so you can actually see what's going on. I'm not very good at sort of instructional videos on stuff like this, so let me just move this out of the way. So what I'm actually doing is I've got the cable here and I'm going to wrap it round. So I'm going to try and coil the cable around the base of this. Okay, how can I do this? Maybe if I hold, there we go, okay. So I'm going to coil that round the base. Wow, I've got that on actually really, really tight. Okay, I just had a thought. I had a very good thought actually. I am going to use, it would be easier for me to, instead of using a piece of wire to wrap this around, I'm going to try and take, wow, I've got that on there, I now can't get it off. Right, there we go. Okay, I'm now actually going to wrap this around a phono plug because it will be easier to actually wrap this around a piece of metal rather than, there we go. Right, so, and then I can just literally coil this. That's better. So I'm going to wrap this around the plug. This bit's a little bit fiddly, but I want to get it right. I want to get it exactly right. Actually, why don't I just twist this around? Why don't I just, yeah, okay, there we go. I'm just going to do it this way. I'm just going to create a coil myself manually. This is probably a better way of doing it. There we go. I don't know why I just didn't think of that in the first place. So, okay. You live and learn, you live and learn. Okay, so I'm now going to do the same for the other side. So I'm just going to coil this around about the same diameter as the cable. So just come around, do a small, got sort of 2 turns on the cable there. So much easier. Right, okay. I'm happy with that. I'm happy with that. So now I can open this up slightly. So I can open this up to get to wind it around the cable. There we go. There we go. Right. So I've basically opened up the coil so that I can put the cable inside the coil effectively. This is extremely tough. I will say, if you're going to get a heavy gauge copper wire, it is very tough and actually quite difficult to work with in such small amounts. Right, okay. It's actually very, very strong. Right, I'm happy with that. So let's first of all wind the cable into now. I want to bend that round, and I want to bend that round so that it's going vertical. There we go. I'm now going to uncoil this just very slightly because okay, bear with me. Bear with me. Isn't it strange how when you want something to be tangled around or wound around something, you can never do it. But when you don't want it wound around something, like jewellery for instance, it does it so easily, and yet when you want it to do it, it's just not going to play. Okay, that's really, really tight. That is very tight. I'm now going to pull the cable down a little bit. There we go. Okay, this is going exceptionally well. This is going exceptionally well. So this goes in one side. So this is the output of there, and then this is going to go onto the output of okay, right, that went in a bit easier because I'd obviously done one already. So okay, now we need to move this up. How come this won't? It's extremely tight. It's extremely tight. I'm going to have to try and loosen this just a tad to get this down. Come on, play with me. There we go, there we go, there we go. Okay, right, we're good, we're good. Okay, people. That cable goes over there. This goes over here. I'm very happy with that. Yep. I think the crystal is making it a bit heavy, you know, but it still acts as an aerial. I don't know whether I can make this a little bit more rigid. I might be able to. Yeah, there we go. Ah, there's the answer. Okay. I have some small wire ups around here. I'm just going to very temporarily wrap them around to give a little bit more rigidity to the copper going up there. Okay, that's fine. And then I've got one more which I shall put around this side to give this a little bit more rigidity. Okay, so I might have been a little bit over enthusiastic about the crystal in the coil, but I'm happy actually that this is working. It does actually work. I need to tidy up the cables. So I might come up with something else to hold this up here so that the crystal is not so heavy. I might put something here so that it will just keep that up like this. Okay, that, as far as I'm concerned, is pretty much the portal done. I made some little decals here. I don't like the ZT bit on the front, so I made like this little decal to go on the front here, which is rather nice. Okay, and then I made another little decal for the top here, so that yeah, that's pretty good. I like that. I shall stick those on, and hey presto, we now have a portal. Right, bear with me and I'll give you a little bit more detailed view on my version of the portal. Okay, after a little bit more configuration, twiddling and tweaking, I have now got my completely portable, battery operated portal. And I'm very happy with how this crystal turned out. I will see whether this actually makes any difference or not. I can very easily take the crystal out of the coil if it doesn't really make that much difference. I have actually been playing around with this already, and I will do so in a little bit now so that we can get an idea on video how this sounds, but I'm just really seriously blown away. Very happy with how this is working. And I'm using this 12 volt 4.5 amp per hour sort of a motorcycle battery, and I made up a special cable. Please don't attempt to make your own cable and such like for the DC input on here unless you absolutely know what you're doing. I know quite a little, let's say a little about electronics and polarity and connections and such like. I'm, I know I'm not going to blow up a piece of equipment. I wouldn't want anyone else to blow up a piece of equipment. But yeah, it's all being powered now from the ZT Junior lunchbox. The pedals are now being powered from the lunchbox on their special cable, and it all works really well. So, okay, I actually love how this looks as well. I've got sort of little decals on there and such like. It's really good. I feel very positive that this is going to be used a lot in the future. So, let me give you a little bit of a rundown. I shall do some handheld video sort of detailed parts of each of this portal. Right, so this is what I am now calling the Oxford Paranormal UK portal, and this is sort of it close up. We have, let's sort of start here really. So this is obviously I got a really good quality gold contact input lead to go into the decimator 2, which is around here. Hopefully you can see that. So this is the decimator 2, so this is on the input. Typically this seems to operate, I sort of twiddle this from about kind of, I guess about minus 5 dB to minus 0, to 0 dB. This is what I've actually found to be quite effective with the PSB7. Out of here we have the output, which comes out of there, and this is the red cable that goes to the input on the TCT2. And also, as you can see, hopefully you can see, we've got this coil that goes from the output of the decimator 2 to the output connector of the T2 around the side here. So I've got that sort of supported up here, and it suspends quite well. I've got this crystal in here. Whether this crystal will work or not, you know, consistently, I don't really know, but I'm going to try it. I actually quite like the look of it as well. And obviously the power, if I turn it round, the power system I've got here, I've got it all the cables tied together. It gives a bit of rigidity to the whole thing. So, and then we've got the output from the TCT2 that goes into the ZT Lunchbox Junior. Yeah, and this is my power supply. This is my sort of external, so this is a 12 volt, 4.5 amp per hour motorcycle battery, which I've just got these little connectors, and I shall get a proper little case for this at some point, and that is providing the 12 volts DC input for the Lunchbox Junior. And then we have the 9 volt DC output on a sort of a daisy chain, and I've cut off actually the extra cable that wasn't actually required because we've only got just 2 pedals, and that supplies the 9 volt power to each of the pedals. So that, in a nutshell, fellow paranormalers, is my version of the Steve Huff inspired portal for communication, ITC, etc, etc. So hopefully you found this video useful, and it's probably a little bit long-winded, but I wanted to sort of go into depth about this. A couple of people have actually mentioned about this coil on Steve Huff's page, and he does reply and say that this coil is just literally wrapped around the cable. It's not soldered in, it's not part of the connectors that go through. It's actually just acting, I don't know what it does. I would imagine it's acting as some sort of amplifier, or you know, some kind of aerial for the spirits to use. I don't really know. I've added my twist on this by putting a rather large crystal in here. Whether or not that's required, I don't really know. But anyway, I hope that you found this useful, and I shall do some spirit work with it, and I might actually do one now just to round off this video. So thank you very much for watching. Okay, so I'm going to do a very short session, probably for a couple of minutes, and we'll see whether we get any communication through. Now I've actually got the volume on here up to 20. I'm now going to switch the power on the portal, and I'm just going to check TC is on and the decimator 2 is on, and the PSB7 is going to be on a sweep. So let's see if we get anything come through. Okay, so I welcome any positive loving spirits to come through if they'd like to talk to us. So you can hear there the noise coming from the PSB7, and you just tweak the decimator 2 until it gets rid of the noise, and then you can increase the volume so that you can hear the communication coming through. So if there's any loving and positive spirits that'd like to come and talk to us right now while we test out this portal, is there anyone that would like to? Hello? Is there anyone here? Hello? What's your name? Can you tell me your name? Hello? I think you said Bob. I'm not sure. Let's turn the volume up a little bit more. Just a tad. But you can actually see how quiet this box is. You know, and the... You know, the sweep is going through on the PSB7. Can you say my name? Can anyone here right now say my name? Is there any spirits here with me right now? Yeah, okay. Somebody just said me. Okay, hello. What would you like to say to me? Do you have anything to say? 10? It sounded like 10. Can you tell me your name? Do you have a name? Do you have a name? My name is Mark. Can you tell me your name? Okay, let's see whether holding this does anything. Does this help to give you energy? Or does this help you to speak to me? No. Okay. I have noticed actually that it has gone very quiet when I did a session a few minutes ago. There's pretty much nothing coming through, and yet earlier on it was quite active. Hi. How are you? Are you here in this room right now? Hello? Would anyone else like to say anything? I could hear something there. Very faint. Can you come a bit closer for me? And speak to me through this portal? Okay. That's quite a few minutes I think now have passed, gone quite quickly. Okay, I'm going to round this up. I will definitely be doing some more portal work with this for absolutely sure, and I look forward to actually taking this out with me on some work. Hello? Okay, I'm going to say goodbye now. I'm going to close this session. Thank you very much for coming, and I wish you all positive love. I came in peace, I leave you in peace. You may return back from where you came from. Thank you for coming. This session is now closed. Goodbye. Okay, that's it people. Thank you very much, and I shall see you again soon.